Welcome back, friends, to a very chilly day on the homestead. We are going to be sawmilling today. We're going to attempt something I've never tried before, and that's to cut a 12-inch board with a 10-inch blade. While the old Lucas is warming up, I'll show you what we've got here for just joining us. This is the last half of a big Doug fir log we have. Beautiful grains, and this is the section that I've chosen for the 1x12. So we'll just kind of do this together. We'll do the edges, and then we'll run this full length. This is about almost 18 feet long, and I'm hoping that everything will go well. We're going to cut it a full 1 inch thick. We'll start here by lowering our mill 1 inch. We'll start here on the left, and we'll cut our left side edge as close as we can so we don't waste any wood. I'm going to guess it's going to be right in there. Lock it down and off we go. That looks pretty good. Got a nice clean edge there. Now this is going to be important to have a nice piece because it's really going to show. Now we can cut the corner out. So we need 12 inches. What do we have here? What potentially, we could cut this longer and have a little bit of extra trim to rip down the table saw. We could actually get out of this probably a 14 or 15 there, but we don't need that much. So I will just stick with what we need. We'll just do the full 12. All right, let's cut this corner out. Going off of memory here, I watched this Australian bloke do this. Looks so easy on YouTube. I'm trying to remember how he did it. Okay, this is a 12-inch square here. This is what we need exactly. So we've got this cut right here, and there's our 1x. You can see it in there. So, of course, I didn't get down here with a pencil. Actually, I'm going to go over a little bit because I'll need to hand plane this down a bit to make it real nice for our beer bench. I'll just cut a little hash in there. So that's where I'm going to want to put our blade, and we're going to do this next cut. Nope, that's not going to work. We're going to have to do the sideways cut here. Let me show you why. I was thinking I could make both of these vertical cuts, but I can't because the guard won't clear. So we're going to make the undercut now. So we'll have to do both of these cuts from this side and then flip it around. All right, no worries. We're learning together here. Okay, so we got to make a horizontal cut. So this will be the full depth of the saw. I don't think I've ever cut this deep before. That first pass gave us a 10-inch cut. That's the maximum width of the blade, but we need 2 more. Here, I'll show you the limitations. It might be more clear if you see the blade. So if we look down here, we're limited by the size of that blade. And in there, you can see right there where it's basically at the maximum end of the hub there. A little dark there to give some light. It's going to hit that hub, and it can't go any deeper. So now we have to index where we're at so we can remember it on our measurement, on our scale here. Here in our winch scale, we're going to have to pick an arbitrary number to come back to. So we'll go in the middle there. So we're going to go at 150. 150 is where we need to return to zero for our next cut. And we'll do this on both sides. Don't let me forget that 150 number. Same over here. We're going to come back to 150 exactly. Now that we know where to come back to, we can go ahead and raise up our winches. We're going to come in, we're going to center the blade basically on the center of the log right here. And now we're going to lower the winches down till where the carriage comes off the track. Now our Australian friend said if you have a couple strong blokes, you can just pick it up and flip it around. We're literally going to flip the carriage 180 and we're going to cut from the other side, the other direction. That'll give us the ability to cut a full 20 inches, which is really cool. Remember that 150 mark. Here you can see the mill sitting on the log. We're going to lower this down a little bit more to clear these rollers so that we can rotate this around. After spinning this around, these rollers are not quite lined up, so we'll just crank the carriage over until those are lined up, and then we'll raise back up to our 150 and we should be right on target. Now back up to our 150. $150. And $150. Theoretically, we should be right on target now. I did something wrong on that east winch. I lost my index, but I just went back and measured it the best I could. So I think we're okay. I don't know what happened, if it got hung up and moved or I just wasn't paying attention. So here's what we got. So now we're going to be cutting from the other direction. So now we have a full 10 inches from this direction. Remember, we put this hashtag in there at 12 inches, a little bit over for some trim. And that's so what we're going to do is we're going to come in here, we're going to make this cut right here, get rid of this material. Then when that's cut, then we'll come in from that backside there and finish this cut right here and have our 1x12. I think we look pretty good. I think we guessed that about right. I should have cut a 1x2 out of here. There's enough material there. I might just run this through the saw or the table saw, and we'll just get some, I can just get one that way. But I could have easily done that if I had been thinking. All right, now we're ready for our final undercut, so we'll want to grab a couple of things to wedge it up as we go. What I mean by that, as we undercut on the side, it's going to start sagging and laying down on the saw and get the big saw marks in it and chew it all up. So I just grabbed this piece of bark right here. I'll just shove a couple of sticks of that in there as I go along, and that will hold that up so we can come out clean on the other side. Well, friends, how did we do here? That looks like a full dimension 1x12 to me. It's absolutely perfect. I got a little bit of a few saw marks on there, but nothing that won't hand plane out real quick. But that's pretty neat, isn't it? Well, that is really neat. That's incredible. You can literally cut, a guy could cut a 20x20 timber with this. That's huge. When you're stacking your fresh cut green lumber, you want to do what they call sticker it. You don't want it sitting right on top of each other. You want some airflow between it. So I cut this little 3/4 by 3/4. They work pretty good. And what I'll typically do is I'll just cut a handful of these guys. About every couple, 2-3 feet or so. And that will keep nice airflow in it, because these are going to be sitting here for a couple days until we get our workbench built. I like consistency and things being uniform, so I'll make everything the same length. Use your first piece as a pattern. It's important to take pride in your work, even the things that seem meaningless, all of that. Do the best you can, and it all translates. It's just so much more enjoyable when everything you look at, you've done your best, and you can take pride in it. Even the way you stack things and keep your tools. That excellence, it just starts to blend in and kind of fade into or permeate your entire life. And eventually into the work itself. The good book tells us, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might, and do all things to the glory of God. And that includes these little things. Seems to me anyway. Well, there it is, friends. That's the fruit of our labor there. 2x4, full dimension, 2x6, 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 1x4, 1x4, 1x6, 1x12. Just beautiful. Dug fir. Really turned out good. That was the first time I cut a 12-inch board, but it went really well, even with losing my index. So I'm gonna keep cutting because I need to get rid of this log so we can get a big one on here. Actually, let's close by showing you what we're going to use to build our outdoor workbench, which I think you're going to find really interesting. the raw material, so to speak. So let's go check that out. We'll close with that. It may not look like it, but inside this log is going to be a really nice workbench. That's a 9-footer. Even more than we need right there. So you might be asking, why build another workbench? Don't you have one in the house? Yeah, I do. But I want to work out here. I really enjoyed taking projects from the tree to the finished project. You know, it's really cool picking your own lumber and such. And I just enjoy working down here by the river. So I want to have something here, down here, that we can build our projects on that's going to be a substantial work base. It's going to have doweling jigs and a way to clamp and the whole thing where we can work outside. So that is going to be on this guy. So Lord willing, the next video, I got to get this big monster over there cribbed up, and then we'll get going on the outside workbench. I think you're really going to enjoy that. I've never built one before, but I have the idea in my mind, and I think it's going to work out really good. It's going to be a cool project. All right, well, I guess that's it. So thanks for watching, friends. May God bless you and your families. Please keep us in your prayers. I've got to get back to work. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the next video.